This is Wake the F Up podcast.
F is for fabulous.
I'm Andy Dooley.
And I'm Kat Torres. Wake the F Up is all about celebrating the great drama of life, the beauty and the brutality. And
tapping into your true divinity, your creativity, because you are the universe pretending to be human.
It's fabulous. The whole idea is to get free, right?
I love this one. I use it often. I say it often, and many things are manifesting so much faster and with more fun and less effort. I say, and I have my clients do this as well, I'm walking in to one of the best chapters of my life. I am now walking into one of the best chapters of my life, because that gives you that metaphor. You know, you're on this journey, the hero's journey, and you're walking into a new chapter. And if you start getting the expectation and the feeling, I'm walking into one of the next best chapters of my life, you're going to start to feel optimistic. You're going to start to feel excited and satisfied. And that's going to change your point of attraction. And that's the Holy Grail of manifesting. Hello, hello.
Hola, greetings. Welcome to the present moment.
We are here live with Wake the F Up podcast. We got Kat Doors here coming in from Australia, Andy Dooley in Boulder, Colorado for your enlightenment
escapades.
Escapades.
Good to be here, Andy. Thanks for having us again. And we're really excited to dive deep today into whatever topic you've got ready to roll.
That's right. Today, we are going to discuss the Holy Grail of manifesting.
Sounds delicious. Like I want to sip from the chalice of nowness. Yes.
Yeah, the Holy Grail. It has a really amazing history that goes with it. And as I was getting ready for this call, I was doing a little research because we're going to have our metaphysical spin on what is the Holy Grail. But then what is like the legend of the Holy Grail? So I have this, I'm going to read to you guys real quick. Okay.
Yes.
The most famous rendition of the Holy Grail story is perhaps found in Sir Thomas Malory's Le Morte d'Arthur. Written in the 15th century, in Malory's version, the quest for the Holy Grail becomes a central focus of King Arthur's knights, particularly Sir Galahad, Sir Percival, and Sir Boris. The quest for the Holy Grail is often depicted as a spiritual journey, symbolizing the search for divine enlightenment, purity, and redemption. Knights embark upon a perilous quest to find the Holy Grail, facing numerous trials and challenges along the way. Only those who are pure of heart and worthy are said to be able to attain the Grail and unlock its mysteries. The story of the Holy Grail has inspired countless adaptations, interpretations, and retellings over the centuries, becoming a symbol of spiritual quest and the pursuit of higher truths in Western literature and culture. Woo!
Ooh. Oh, yeah. It's definitely one of the delicious parts of life where there's some sort of mystery. There's some sort of like secret. And I feel like the Holy Grail is sort of this emblem of the possibilities of learning like what's behind the veil. And the idea of being able to sip from the, immortality chalice, I think that there's something about that that's driven humanity and our evolution to seek out the spiritual and to seek out like the origins, the divine origins of who we are, where we come from, where we go. You know, like it's one of those inexhaustible mysteries. And really, I mean, hey, look at us here at Wake the F Up. We're here literally because we are looking for the chalice, my friends.
You know, when it comes to, I like how it talked about adaptations and interpretations. And here we are interpreting it through kind of the lens of, nowness, the lens of metaphysics and manifesting. And I think, unlocking like the secrets. And after my journey on, I've had, just like Kat has had, and all of us have had, these trials and tribulations. We're being tested. We're out on the quest. It's the hero's journey. And, looking at what has worked, what doesn't work, And, I like how it talked about divine enlightenment, purity, redemption, and us, reincarnating how many thousands, hundreds of thousands of times. I'm not sure what the real number is, but I do believe in reincarnation. And here we are again on this adventure, immersed in the illusions of time and space. And I really feel like it all does come back to, like, the treasure we're seeking is really within ourselves the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so true, Andy. And, in the game of nowism, there's a little section there where we take the vow to now. And when I think about seeking out the Holy Grail and trying to find that chalice of immortality, or trying to understand the secrets of the universe, I feel like it really points to a personal devotional piece, like where because not everyone on this planet right now is really seeking out the great mysteries of life. Actually, some people are actually pretty intoxicated and sleepwalking and just like doing the do and going to work and, living in their little stories without the broader perspective of a greater mystery sort of flavoring the possibilities here. There's a devotional piece that I think for anyone who's listening to Wake the F Up, that it's a very personal piece. Like, what makes you wake up in your friendly universe with a drive to deepen your understanding of being you, of the possibilities here in your life, of the chapter that you're in? Like, that devotional piece is something that's so private. It's very personal. And even for individuals who do one-on-ones with me or with Andy, we can point at it. But really, when it comes down to your own personal devotion to finding that holy grail of living in the nowness of the moment and activating the fullness of your potential, that is a personal thing that no one can really drive you to that. We can point at it, but then the rest of it's up to you.
That personal awakening and journeying. And as I've been looking at my life in the past 2 or 3 years, really coming around to how much of the artist and creator I am on this journey, and how I've played many roles, wearing different hats, learning the tech side of things, writing landing pages and sales copy. And then like, wait a minute. Yeah, sure. I can do all these things, but me creating art, me creating inspirational, fun videos, this is the heart calling me. And that's my holy grail, like my passion, the vision. And when I get into the creative mode, like I just did I shot a video I posted on Facebook. I designed my own iPhone because it was just black and boring and too slick. And I was like, I bought some acrylic markers. There's my lion. And I designed, this is just one version. I'm going to do more acrylic marker on this, but like me creating just, that's part of my holy grail. That's the quest I'm on, to create things that have never been created before, from a podcast conversation to a video to a new technique for manifesting. I love the creative process.
And it's a beautiful thing to really tap into what is the highest use of your time during this incredible life that we're living. Just because you can do the things doesn't mean you should, like, for instance, with the sales copy and the landing pages and the hustle of running a business. Like, I feel you, Andy, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. And I mean, in the beginning, you can get such a kick out of like, oh, look at me go. I am the one-woman show of all things glorious. But then at the end of the day, the greatest use and the activation of the fullness of your potential is so personal. And when we actually line up through the filter of like worthiness, actually like that, through a real self-love and a self-care, and actually devote ourselves to like really being involved with the Holy Grail of our own beingness and devoting our time there and turning up and exploring that and giving undivided attention to that, I feel like something wonderful happens and all the other support pieces turn up to actually tick the boxes of some of the other things that you were grinding on. The Holy Grail is not just a delicious chalice to sip from, but it is the ultimate answer for living the fullness of life, I believe. When we devote ourselves fully to our gifts and our talents and our capacities, the universe supports that. We get fueled and funded by the divine design. And in the beginning, it can feel so risky. It's like, oh, I want to chase my Holy Grail, but I have to, make a sales copy. It's like, do you? Like take the risk of turning up with your creativity and see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Create art. I just feel that so much. And me now realizing, okay, like I have my Shopify store and I have these really cool t-shirts and hoodies and mugs. And there's so much stuff going on with that I'm right now in the process of hiring somebody who's really good at that, the tech stuff, the behind the scenes stuff and the funnels and the landing pages and making the right offers. I want to create the goodies and then I can hand it over to somebody else. And so if you're listening to this, this is an opportunity for you to check in with, are you drinking from your Holy Grail? Are you doing things that fulfill you, or are you just paying the bills? Are you just getting through the day? Because the more I do this type of work, the more it's like, we're all seeking fulfillment. What fulfills you, fulfills your cup so you can drink and have an unlimited supply coming to you so you can then turn around and give to others. And that is, part of what we're talking about today. Then also we'll talk also about kind of like secrets to manifesting and, what we can do to manifest our desires with more ease and flow.
It's such a underestimated topic because I feel like this life sort of is so demanding and especially during this time in human history where there is this sort of hustle, there is this illusion that, you just can't get ahead. You just can't actually get to the bit where you have spare time, and one of the great things that Michael Beckwith ever said to me, I remember saying to him one day, I was sort of like, oh, when you have some spare time, Michael, could you have a look at this book that I've written and write the foreword for it or whatever? And he was like, there's no such thing as spare time. There's only devoted participation. I remember thinking, oh, like it's so true. Like there is no spare time. You gotta plug this into the time that you've got. And when you have a personal devotion to your Holy Grail, something wonderful is going to happen. And it's going to include unlocking the secrets to manifestation, hopefully at a cafe.
And so I love how you're talking about the devotion to our passion, to our Holy Grail, to the thing that fulfills us. And then also the devotion to our spiritual practice, the devotion to loving ourselves. Because I think one way to look at manifesting the Holy Grail is, how we're taking care of ourselves is reflected back to us by the universe. And so the more we can love the path, love our mistakes, love our trials and tribulations, just as like I read in the beginning, the knights go out on this quest facing numerous trials and challenges along the way. And it's clarity. Oh, this works for me. This doesn't work for me. Oh, this drains my energy. Oh, this lights me up. Okay. Paying attention to that. I'm paying so much more attention to what lights me up. And then also being kind and forgiving of myself for, being an artist with shiny object syndrome. Because like so many things light me up. I'm multi-passionate. I know things light you up, Kat. And, it's like refining. My time is limited. What is the thing? What is my Holy Grail? And how can I take care of myself so I can really give my calling, my path, the number one priority?
Exactly. There's a worthiness piece here. And in the game of Nowism, I always talk about how this conversation is like the anticlimax to the entire situation. Because worthiness, we say the word worthiness or self-worth or self-love, and everyone's like, oh, roll your eyes and, can't we get to the exciting bit? But the truth is that when we unlock the secrets in ourselves of loving ourselves as we are, knowing that we are, in fact, this one-hit wonder in the universe. We are a unique emanation of the divine. There is only one of us, of me, of you, of Andy, and so to treat ourselves with the same sort of sacredness of the truth of the way Source sees us. One of the questions I like to ask my clients is, would you talk to yourself the way that you talk to, would you talk to your friends the way that you talk to yourself? And most people go, oh my God, no, definitely not. Like if I spoke to my friends the way that I speak to myself in that little private commentary, the you should be further ahead and you're not good enough and you should know better by now and here you go again. Like if you spoke to your friends like that, you probably wouldn't have many friends, right? And so, but like understanding that this flavor of conversation that you're having with you about you, this is one of the main pieces to unlock the secrets of manifestation. In fact, I would say that if at the bottom of the Holy Grail there was the tequila worm, that the worm is self-love. That there is the worm of self-love, that if you could just do that one thing, you'll be really honoring and actually activating the fullness of your manifestation.
Yes. Actually, tomorrow in my Manifestors Cafe, we're doing a deep dive into learning to speak better to yourself and learning to love yourself and honor yourself and adore yourself. And there was a really great inspirational quote from Abraham Hicks talking about, if you wanted a magic formula, it would be to look at yourself and adore yourself and appreciate yourself and see yourself through the eyes of Source and love. And, Abraham was saying it's the key to allowing, it's the key to energy, it's the key to abundance, it's the magic formula to all the things you've been asking for. And when you talk nice to yourself and talk nice to others, see the best, then you're soothing yourself and you're releasing all this resistance and you become lighter. I mean, think about it. When someone's praising you and complimenting you, like anybody, if you've ever been praised or complimented, you just start to feel lighter. You feel seen, you feel recognized. You're just like, oh, wow, this is so amazing. Like you just start getting this little buzz and the resistance just melts away. And learning to speak words of kindness and appreciation to yourself is the Holy Grail. And I loved your metaphor of, at the bottom of the tequila bottle is the worm and the worm is self-love. It's brilliant.
It's one of the ickier pieces of this practice because everybody has so much time to love other people or to love their dogs or to love their, even their careers or their cars or their houses or whatever. But to actually stop and to look in the mirror every morning and to actually just appreciate the Source's beautiful work of art and in all of your quirks and your weirdness and your special features, to just stop and to just appreciate that you really are a one-hit wonder in this universe and your song legit is playing right now. And to allow this sort of harmonious part of the music to be amplified by your precious attention. Self-love is one of the harder muscles to flex. And it's interesting that, I don't know about you, Andy, but whenever I am coaching someone, I always get people to fill out a questionnaire so I can understand their map of the world. But the truth is actually that I could throw the questionnaire away before I even speak to them and just go straight to the jugular of why is it that you won't love yourself fully? Why is it that you can't just appreciate every little bit of you? What is it about you that you are so resistant to? Because this is the one piece that when we unlock the fact that we are lovable and that the lovableness is not based on your achievements. It's not because you built a fabulous business. It's not because you've got X amount of dollars in the bank or that you're even a lovely friend. It's not because of the achievements that you've achieved in your life, but rather you are worthy simply because you exist. And this is something that we lose as we walk down the timeline. A good example is that when a baby comes into this world, when a new child enters the tribe, We stand around this child and we love this baby, and we know that the child is worthy. We sing songs of praises. We feel the high vibratory frequencies of the sweetness of life and the excitement of this journey. That baby hasn't achieved anything yet. Perhaps it's achieved, like coming through the porthole into the present moment. Like, we could say that there are some achievements, but we don't know the personality of the baby yet. Not in its fullness. We don't know what businesses it's going to create or what financial things it's going to create. We don't know what sort of adventures it's going to go on. That's a part of the mystery of life. Yet none of us stand around the newborn child and say, well, let's see how you go before I name you worthy. Let's see what clever things you achieve before we feel the love of your amazing presence. Like, that's just outrageous, right? We just wouldn't do that because we are born worthy, and we seem to be able to know that for the newborns. Yet here we are, newborns, really, newborn now into the present moment, having walked down the path of this timeline where somehow, as we collect the data and the dust of the world, we seem to forget that we are worthy just because we exist.
That is so beautiful, Kat. Yes, we are worthy because we exist, and we're the ones who created time, space, reality so we could play the game, forget our worthiness, and then rediscover our worthiness. And, it makes me think, you inspired me to go into That's Rights, about feeling our love, our acceptance, our worthiness, and just you and I going back for a minute or two on That's Right, just to give the listener an opportunity to feel thoughts that bring you into alignment so you can feel your worthiness and you can feel that all your love is right here. And you don't have to achieve these, great goals, which are worthy and awesome. Go achieve them, but you don't have to achieve them to then feel the love. You can feel the love while you're achieving.
Yes, and this is one of the great arts of Nowism, to be generative in the vibration, to using thought alone, just using your free will, being in the decision that I'm going to raise my vibration and feel the love and feel the worthiness and feel the ease and the flow and the grace, not because my environment is dictating that to me, but rather because that's what I'm deciding. This is the power of my intention. This is the highest use of my creative faculties. And so inducing the energy before the world is lovable is actually a great skill and art to actually develop and to practice. And I love knowing that we have that power, because then now, isn't it good to know that you don't have to wait for the world to behave in a certain way so that you can feel something, And the same goes with self-love. The same thing goes with the self-worth.
Not waiting for the conditions to be different, living unconditionally. This is what Abraham Hicks talks about in step 4 of deliberate creating. I wrote a book. You can download it for free. The link is in my bio, and it's at my website as well. And step 4 is living unconditionally, saying, I don't need the conditions to be different. I don't need these people to be different. I don't need the government to be different. I can still find a way to feel good. I can still find a way to love myself, to at least like or appreciate what's out there, and not have to look at something horrible and try to make yourself like it. There is, okay, that's beyond, I can't change that, but I can come back to my reaction to that. I can respond differently to that. I can understand that's somebody else's path. And I can start living unconditionally. That's so powerful to say, I don't need the conditions to be different in order for me to feel good. It'll take you the rest of your life to get there, but you can get there and you can start practicing it now.
And I think a really good one-liner, here's a bumper sticker for everybody who's watching, wake the F up. You don't have to become, wind back. You don't have to wait for the conditions to be right. You become the right condition, and then all your dreams will come true. And I think that this is such a powerful thing to understand. We so often we put it all backwards. Like, I'll feel better when this happens, or I'll feel abundance when the money's in the bank. I'll feel connection and romance when the lover turns up. You know what? It's feeling first, manifestation second. Mr. Dooley is the absolute boss of teaching this particular piece because it is the puzzle of the universe to know that the energies, the emotions, the thoughts, that they are the building blocks, the legit building blocks to actually create reality. Feeling first, manifestation second. One of the greatest T-shirts Andy Dooley ever made.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Hey, let's do some That's Rights about self-love, worthiness, honoring yourself, enjoying the journey, that kind of just kind of back and forth vibe. Let's see how that goes. All right. So that's right. I'm beginning to feel my love and worthiness.
That's right. I am enough right here, right now.
That's right. I love knowing that everything I need is within inside me now.
That's right. I love knowing that I find out what I need to know when I need to know it.
That's right. I am on the path, and the path is revealing what I need to know when I need to know it.
That's right. And it feels so delicious to be supported and fueled and funded by the divine.
That's right. I love feeling into the divine and remembering that I am part of the divine.
That's right. That everything is right in the universe. I am on my way and it is time to play.
That's right. I love becoming the condition to allow my desires to flow to me. Oh, did it freeze?
Yeah, it's been freezing, but I don't think the recording freezes. That's right. I love knowing that the recording is smooth, even though the illusion is that we freeze.
That's right. We are making the best of it and having fun.
That's right. We are on our way and we're moving into greater days.
That's right. I'm beginning to feel my own Holy Grail within me. I'm discovering the Holy Grail within me.
That's right. I love knowing that everything that I need is already loaded and coded inside of me here and now.
That's right. I'm loving the journey.
That's right. We have arrived.
Woo!
Yeah, baby.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, the That's Rights, we use those. I do that with my clients. I do that in the cafe. And the That's Right sentences help you fire and wire new thoughts. It's like the new That's Right affirmations. It really helps you stay focused and flowing when you're doing that's right, that's right, that's right. And I write them down. I can do them with another person. You can just do them in your own mind. And it's just a way to fire and wire those new thoughts. So that way it literally changes your frequency and you're installing new beliefs. You're creating a new point of attraction with that's right sentences.
That's right. And, you know, that is right. I think it's really powerful to embody these particular practices. And the trick is to not overlook how simple they are. A lot of what Andy teaches and a lot of what I teach in the game of Nowism has everything to do with learning a language, learning to affirmatively speak about your preferences instead of your problems, learning how to soften your conversation about you, to you, towards you, about you, you know, learning how to lean in the direction of the possibilities and to actually stay there and simmer there until you feel your energy rise up. Language, learning the language of affirmations, learning affirmative language is actually one of the fastest way to shift your vibration. And at first it can feel sort of fake, you know, like sometimes you got to just show yourself that you are willing and start leaning. And then before you know it, after your third or fourth, that's right, you start to feel a little bit better. You start to feel a little bit of ease and flow. Your field, your energy field actually softens. And then you, like the problem or the resistance or whatever it is that you were feeling that was causing you to glitch actually starts to dissolve. And as the energy raises up, you start to feel better and better. And I think that this is one of the main things to understand about what we teach here is that, you know, the law of attraction, to use it successfully, is like learning a language.
Yeah, the Holy Grail of manifesting is learning this language and using it in a way to get you to feel differently about yourself, about your situation. And I was just watching some videos, and some of the newest science that's coming out about affirmations is, 21 days of saying certain affirmations 3 to 6 times a day, really firing and wiring, like consistently 3 to 6 times a day. And saying what you want to affirm can not only rewires your brain and changes your point of attraction, it can also literally change your DNA. They're now like, oh, this changes your DNA because you have epigenetics where you can literally change the expression of your genes, and genes are turned on and sometimes they're turned off. And sometimes they turn off as we get older and they don't express themselves the way that they used to. It's like, oh, well, I used to be able to do that. But through positive language, that's right, affirmations. This is the Holy Grail where you can speak yourself into a new DNA. You can speak yourself into a new reality, but you've got to do the work. And with these tools that Kat teaches in Nowism, I teach in the Manifestors Cafe, you learn the language so you can speak yourself into a new reality, a new body, a new everything.
And, don't underestimate the power of flexing the muscle, because, this time in human history, it's very easy to get swept up in a negative conversation. There is a glorification of that which is not working, and the fear and the doubt and the lack and the loss and the worry. It almost feels it's more normal in so many ways for people to feel anxious than for them to feel, a level of harmony. And so don't underestimate the power of this. And it's not a passive practice. You have to actually induce the conversation. You have to actually flex the muscle. And, when you say a same line 3 times or 5 times, at first you might feel a little bit weird or a little bit silly about it, but it's literally the same as like pumping a muscle at a gym. If you say to yourself over and over that I am worthy and I am allowed to thrive, I am worthy and I am allowed to thrive, I am worthy, I am allowed to thrive. And as you tune in with your consciousness and actually invest in what you're saying, after the first 3 times you say it, you're going to actually start to feel something where you start to believe what you're saying to yourself. But this is a muscle. It's got to be flexed. It's not passive. You've got to actually induce the energy and induce the muscle and actually do some reps in order to get the results.
Yeah, you really do. It's just as like going to the gym. You can't, lift light weights and expect your muscles to grow. You want more resistance to make the muscles grow. And other, like the Holy Grail of manifesting is literally the simple soothing thoughts. Like I'm beginning to appreciate myself. Mm-hmm. I'm beginning to appreciate myself until you really feel that. And you say, I'm beginning to love myself. I'm beginning to love myself. I'm becoming my own best friend. I am becoming my own best friend. I'm allowing my heart to lead the way. I'm allowing my love to flow. I'm allowing myself to love me just the way I am. I'm allowing myself to love me just the way I am. Those thoughts, as simple as they are, they're soothing. It's a language. Those thoughts generate emotions. They start to create a new neural network. You start to believe it. You start to act that way. Then your point of attraction changes. And now the Holy Grail of manifesting, you're there.
Exactly. And, like what I love about what Andy shared there is that they are conversations that lean you in the direction. Sometimes people think that affirmations are about, saying, I am worthy, I am abundant, I am. Now, I am is the ultimate. But one thing that we have learned from teaching hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people over so many years now is that sometimes you can't go from piss to bliss. It doesn't really work out for people. It's not really sustainable. So what we need to do is actually build a little bridge that actually assists us so that the ego doesn't flare up. When I say, I am worthy, and then your ego says, no, you're not, you're an idiot. And so, like these languages that we're sharing here, these words where I'm beginning to feel worthy, I am on my way to greater days. Like we're not declaring a powerful end result yet. What we're doing is we're softening the resistance by leaning. And this is a really important thing, depending on where you are at. Sometimes you do have access to the I am, and you can have absolute conviction and call yourself into absolute fabulosity. But other times you're feeling a little bit more wobbly. You're feeling like you're actually got a lot of doubt or resistance. And in these moments, it's so important to actually craft the right words so that you can lean into a better feeling thought, but not try and take too big a jump that's unsustainable in the long run.
Yeah, bridging that gap. I love bridging the gap. I've got two different tools I use in the cafe and in with my clients. So there's where you are right now, and then there's where you want to be. And so there's a gap. And it's how you feel about that gap that really matters. It matters. Mm-hmm. And how you feel about yourself, it really matters. Because oftentimes we go off chasing, we're trying to learn how to quantum leap. We're trying to heal our childhood trauma. We're trying to, time the astrology just right to start the business. We're trying to figure out what the numbers are to find the love of our lives. And if you can come back to the present moment, now, Kat, and love the nowness and realize, okay, there's where I am and there's where I want to be. There's always going to be a gap, and we want to close the gap. And you close the gap with this thinking these nice, soothing thoughts to yourself and not trying so hard to think the best thought you've ever thought, the most positive thought. I am now a divine being of light and love, and I call in my abundance. It's like, you're trying way too hard. Go with, I have some here. I'm sharing some slides I have. I'm looking at some slides I do for the cafe where you'd say, I'm doing great. I'm right where I need to be. I'm on the path to everything I desire. I enjoy feeling satisfied, appreciative, and grateful. I'm grateful for this journey. I'm satisfied with where I'm at. I'm appreciating the contrast. I can talk, like even saying, I can talk myself into a better feeling on any subject. Like that's a strength. That's the muscle you want to flex. I can tell yourself, I can talk myself into a better feeling on any subject. Man, that's power. I love knowing that my higher self is always guiding me. And here's one last one. I love this one. I use it often. I say it often, and many things are manifesting so much faster and with more fun and less effort. I say, and I have my clients do this as well, I'm walking in to one of the best chapters of my life. I am now walking into one of the best chapters of my life, because that gives you that metaphor. You're on this journey, the hero's journey, and you're walking into a new chapter. And if you start getting the expectation and the feeling, I'm walking into one of the next best chapters of my life, you're going to start to feel optimistic. You're going to start to feel excited and satisfied. And that's going to change your point of attraction. And that's the Holy Grail of manifesting.
Yeah, I love that, Andy. And, this is sort of similar to one of those other tools that you have where you say like, oh, this is the part of the story where I rise up. This is the part of the story where I activate my superhero powers. This is the part of the story. And it's this bird's eye view that allows us to be in the great adventure of life instead of banging around as the lead character in the story, wondering what the actual fuck. We can actually be the director and the writer, as well as the lead character, as well as the producer and the editor, and I feel like there's a lot of fun to be had when we have this perspective, when we cultivate this sort of view on life. And, finding yourself in the story and being ready to lean into the next chapter with a level of adventure and play and hope even. This allows for you to just cruise through some of the shitty chapters, which, the resistance, just in the same in the gym, like the resistance that can arise from some chapters actually just make you stronger, and you will step into greater days. You will find your way. But it really has to do with not speaking into the eternal damnation of the moment, and instead saying, I'm beginning to find my way. I'm beginning to allow myself to thrive. I know that I'm on my way to greater days. And this is, I hope that you guys will come and join us in the Manifestors Cafe or in the Game of Nowism. We always love having more people to jam with, because your creativity always adds to what we're doing. But this is the adventure of life, and we really are in it together.
The adventure, yes, on the quest for the Holy Grail. And ironically, it comes back to the Holy Grail's inside of you, and knowing that you can change your language, you can change the words and the feelings, and practicing better feelings. One of the things I have my clients do is create feel-good habits. Like, what can you do daily to start feeling good? That's going to be your Holy Grail. Because, every time I have a cup of hot tea in the morning, it's like, I get so much out of that cup of tea. I get so much out of my morning meditation, and having these routines that bring you into alignment with that bigger part of you, and then being able to use the language. Another three magic words that help you bridge the gap, right? Because there's where you are, there's where you want to be. And three magic words are beginning, becoming, and allowing. I'm beginning to get this. I'm beginning to feel better. I'm beginning to speak a new language. I'm becoming more optimistic. I'm becoming more playful. I'm allowing it to be fun. I'm allowing the energy to flow. I'm allowing myself to see and feel the magic every day. I'm allowing myself to love myself. That is how you can close the gap and get yourself to your Holy Grail.
I love it. I love how simple it is. And like I said before, just don't underestimate how powerful what Andy is sharing. These little tweaks in the script that you are saying to yourself and to reality, these tiny little conversation starters. I'm beginning. I'm allowing. They seem so painfully simple. How could it possibly be so powerful? But the truth is when you do these tiny little perception corrections, these tiny little affirmative corrections in the way that you are speaking, it is actually light years when it comes to your manifestation capacity. When we do these little tweaks, you go from being in a toxic shitstorm of I don't know the way and I should be further ahead, and to an actual alkaline energy where you are revealing to the universe that you are actually unfolding in a powerful way. You're giving the universe something very powerful to work with. When you give the universe something really shit to work with, like I'm not good enough and I should be further ahead, then the universe has to take that broadcast and give you proof of that. Yeah, you really should be further ahead, you tool. And it's and then you actually just feel sorry for yourself. If you want to have something like a positive plot twist take place in your life, you must give the universe something to work with. What if I am being initiated? What if this is the part of the story where I become greater? What if I'm about to grow my wings? You have to give the universe something to work with. And remember, you are giving the universe something to work with. What's the quality of your current state of being? What are you offering the universe? Because you know what? It is taking this current vibrational offering and it's giving to you time and space equivalence. It's giving you places and spaces and people and more things that actually prove to you your state of being. And so this is why we have at the Manifestors Cafe and in the Game of Nowism a high quality control department on the way that we think and the way that we feel. Because if you don't, you're actually giving the universe shit things to work with. The quality of your present moment is flavoring your future manifestations. So there's not a bigger priority to actually have in life than the quality of your state of being.
Oh, state of being is everything. State of being comes down to your mental state of being, which is going to determine your emotional state of being, which will determine what kind of actions you do or don't take. And one of the things I've been saying recently is that it's not about manifesting. It's about mastering your emotional and mental state of being. And you do that with thoughts and emotions and choosing to, like, right here's a bottle of water. It's just a bottle of water, but I could go, here's a bottle of water, El Dorado Springs here in I love drinking this bottle of water. This water is quenches my thirst. It cleanses the cells. It enables my body to do things I can't even comprehend. Don't you love water? Don't you love a nice glass of cold water on a hot day, or a warm glass of water on a cold day, whatever? Like allowing that energy and excitement to come through. It's mastering your state of being, and that will take care of so much, rather than trying to, fix the reflection in the mirror. No, stop trying to fix the reflection in the mirror. Fix the person standing in front of the mirror, the state of being. If you smile in front of the mirror, you get back a smile. If you frown in front of the mirror, you're going to get back a frown.
Yes. I love that. This reminds me a lot about the, in the game of Nowism, we have a little segment called Find the Magic in the Mundane. And this is really leaning on the idea of find an excuse to feel good now. Just find an excuse. Just because you're vibing either way, you have an energy, you have a state of being that's broadcasting out to the universe either way. So when we find magic in the mundane, like what Andy just demonstrated with the water, like how often do we take water for granted? It's so easy to just drink the water and to not even notice that the water actually came from somewhere, whether it was rain or from a spring somewhere. Even the bottling company that made this like product so that you could drink it on the go. There is a miracle, and it is evenly distributed, and it's always true. The only thing that changes is whether you're actually tuned into the miracle or whether you're just like banging around in the mundane. And I think that this is a muscle. I think that this is the art of Nowism, where you decide through your own free will to look for the magic in the mundane. It's a beautiful way to raise the vibe.
Yeah, and drinking from the whole, you want to realize you are the Holy Grail, and you want to drink from your own Holy Grail, your own holiness, and seeing yourself as divine, as magical, as a powerful creator in time and space. You are the sun, the moon, and the stars, and this is your time to awaken from the dream and to love this journey, to love all your trials and tribulations, and celebrate you here and now.
So beautiful. And remember that this is a devotional piece. You're not going to find that Holy Grail unless you decide that that's important. The Holy Grail is personal. The Holy Grail is sacred. The Holy Grail is the whisper of the divine that's reminding you of your origins. And it's your job to seek out the Grail. It's your job to unlock the secret. And most of all, it's your job during this crazy time in human history with all the distraction and the momentarism and the mediocrity. It's your job to stay interested.
Oh, stay focused, stay interested. Here is a great quote I want to share from Abraham Hicks about someone asking, how could it be so simple? Abraham's putting that out there. Like, you mean I just got to feel better? You mean the Holy Grail was within me this whole time and I just have to speak better and feel better? It can't be that easy. What about all this other stuff? What about Mercury going retrograde? Never mind that stuff. Focus on the present moment and your state of being. So here's the quote. How could it possibly be so simple? You mean all I have to do is make myself feel good within my thoughts and I've solved everything? Yes, because when you make yourself feel good within your thoughts, you've stopped the resistance, which is the only thing that can prevent you temporarily from the things you want.
So good and so painfully simple. We buy into the world and the conditions and the circumstances and the externals. We buy into it. We buy into it every single day, and we think that it all needs to change in order for us to feel good. But there's always something to generate that is you can operate independently from the circumstances. There is always something, even in your environment, actually, there's always something that you could notice that could lift your vibe. There's always some sort of magic to unlock in the mundane. but you have to actually have that personal devotional piece to stay interested, to be focused, and then to do the work when it feels justified for you to get swept up by the latest worst case scenario weather report. You have to actually honor the world building facility inside of you. You are creating your reality even when you're not. You're actually participating in reality creation even when you're not Om Namah Shivaing and doing like vision boards and doing all the deliberate stuff. Your default average energy is creating reality. And so finding more excuses to feel good, activating more alkaline conversations about yourself, about reality, doing all of this work at the Manifestors Cafe or in the game of Nowism, that is the ultimate task. All you have to do is start feeling good, but you've got to make that a priority in order for you to actually succeed at this.
That's right. You got to make yourself feel good. That's right. You got to make yourself a priority. That's right. You are the Holy Grail. That's right. You're creating even when you don't think that you're creating. Like, don't let it sneak up on you. That's right. Establishing new habits, new thought patterns is so important in creating and manifesting you as the Holy Grail and being like, oh my God, it was me the whole time. Wow. Right? It was right under my nose. It was me.
I know, right? It's so Dorothy. Click your heels 3 times. What an anticlimax. I could have done that at the beginning, but then there wouldn't have been in the adventure.
Yes. All right. Well, we're going to start to wrap it up now. This has been a phenomenal call, Kat. Your insights and poetry and language is just so uplifting and inspiring. I am buzzing now with vibes. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy, for bringing so many practical tools and tips and tricks and mindful life hacks. I see you. I honor you, my brother. And thank you for waking the F up.
The fabulous.
The fabulous. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you want to know more about Andy Dooley, please check him out at andydooley.com, the Manifestors Cafe. His amazing Shopify situation. If you want some funny-ass mugs and T-shirts or prints and stuff, he's just got it going on. And if you would like to make a game out of your consciousness practice, if you want to make a game out of your thinking and feeling, if you want to try and find a way to manage those 70,000 thoughts a day that you're having, please check me out on catdoors.com, the game of Nowism and all that jazz. We've got Sunday Jam. We've got all the things. It's great to be here. Thanks for turning up. And remember, stay awake.